More FPL. Welcome to my Game Week 4 preview, where I discuss captains and transfer tips. For captains this week, it probably comes down to Haaland or Salah, if you own them. Both have been in great form so far this season and have 41 points apiece. Both also have good fixtures, even though Brentford and Nottingham Forest have started well on paper. I own both and I'm going for Haaland, as it's hard to go against someone with back-to-back hat-tricks. If you don't own either, I like Trent as an option, or the informed Brighton attackers against Ipswich. More FPL. Now let's look at the top 3 transfers in this week in each position, starting with forwards. First is João Pedro, who has 2 goals in 3 matches and is the 6th top point scoring forward. Brighton have 2 good home fixtures coming up before a tougher next 6, including Liverpool and Man City. So I think the transfer only makes sense if you plan to wildcard around Game Week 6, as I do. He was a late call-up to the Brazil squad, but only played 45 minutes in the second match. I'd imagine he starts Game Week 4, but there's a small amount of doubt there. He's quite versatile in terms of where he can play in the team, which may help his minutes. Next is Erling Haaland, who has an incredible 7 goals in the first 3 games of the season. He's top point scoring forward and joint with Mo Salah in the overall standings. Despite facing Arsenal and Newcastle in his next 3 fixtures, he's pretty fixture-proof. After that, the fixtures from Game Week 7 look great and will be a captaincy option most weeks. Last is João Pedro's teammate Danny Welbeck, who's also enjoyed a strong start to the season. He has 2 goals and 1 assist and actually sits as 2nd top point scoring forward. Welbeck should start Game Week 4, but probably is more of a doubt going forward as he can only play as striker. Brighton do have a lot of forward options, so we can't be sure when rotation will happen going forward. Again, I think the transfer only makes sense if you plan to wildcard around Game Week 6. More FPL. Now let's look at midfielders, starting with Luis Diaz, who's 2nd top point scoring player in his position. He has 3 goals and 1 assist so far, including a brace last time out against Man United. Liverpool have good upcoming fixtures, especially next 3, before facing Arsenal in Game Week 9. One thing to be aware of is that the Champions League starts between Game Weeks 4 and 5. A couple of players that haven't seen much action so far are Darwin Núñez and Cody Gakpo. Maybe they wouldn't have started anyway, but this will partly be down to their late return from international competitions. You'd expect them to start featuring more now, so that could take minutes or starts away from Diaz and Jota. But at the same time, Diaz's form in particular should mean he continues to get strong minutes. Next is Amadou Onana, who's somewhat surprisingly 8th top point scoring midfielder with 2 goals scored. The upcoming fixtures look good and he could continue his fine start to the season. He's so far outshone his teammate Morgan Rogers, who was much fancied at the start of the season. He's chipped in with the odd goal in previous seasons, but he's never been this prolific before. At his price, he could be a good enabler to allow for multiple premiums in your squad. Last is Mo Salah, who has an impressive 3 goals and 3 assists in the first 3 games of the season. As mentioned before, he's top point scoring forward and joint with Haaland in the overall standings. Liverpool have good upcoming fixtures, especially the next 3, before facing Arsenal in Game Week 9. He's a strong captaincy option for the next few weeks at least, and should be fine to start Game Week 4. He's had no international football and has less competition on the right of the front 3. With the Champions League starting, it'll be interesting to see if he starts getting reduced minutes in either. He's now 32 years old, but has only missed 8 minutes of the first 3 games, so maybe they won't. More FPL. Now let's look at defenders, starting with Rico Lewis, who has an assist and clean sheet so far. Before the season, Josko Gvardiol was seen as more attacking, but Lewis has been more advanced so far. He does face competition at right back from Kyle Walker, who's only played 2 minutes of football so far. Whether that's just easing him back after Euros, or whether it's now Lewis's spot to lose, remains to be seen. With the Champions League starting, you'd imagine some rotation will start happening. But maybe Walker will start in the Champions League and tougher Premier League fixtures. At just 4.7 million, Lewis could be a great way into the City defence with some attacking threat. Apart from Arsenal in Gameweek 5, City's fixtures do look good from a defensive perspective. Next is Anthony Robinson, who has plenty of attacking threat and 2 assists in 3 games so far. Fulham's upcoming fixtures are mixed, but on the other hand, you're not expecting clean sheets from Robinson. Last is Lucas Digne, who has 1 assist so far and has attacking threat historically. He faces competition from 37.5 million signing Ian Maatsen, although Maatsen can also play left wing. The upcoming fixtures look good, but I don't think I'd go there with a rotation risk. More FPL. Finally, let's look at goalkeepers, starting with Lucas Fabianski, who is the 4 million goalkeeper of choice. He replaced injured Alphonse Areola last time out, so he's a popular backup on wildcard. He could be a decent option short term, depending on how long Areola is out. Next is Alisson, who's the top point scoring goalkeeper so far, with 3 straight clean sheets and 2 bonus. Arne Slot has a reputation for setting his teams up well defensively, so Liverpool could well be better this season. The upcoming fixtures look good defensively, and even longer term, you'd always start him. 5.5 million is still a bit expensive for me, but no 4.5 million options have stood out. It also means you can't triple up on Trent, Salah and another outfielder. Last is David Raya, another 5.5 million goalkeeper who has just 1 less point so far. Arsenal have 1 less clean sheet, although it was partly because they were reduced to 10 men last time out. The next couple of fixtures are tough, but Arsenal were relatively fixture-proof defensively last season. And when you spend that much on a goalkeeper, you're playing them every week, regardless. More FPL. In this final section, let's look at the top 3 transfers out this week, starting with Alexander Isak. He's actually 9th top point scoring forward, so doing okay with a goal and assist so far. The upcoming fixtures are mixed, although Wolves away in Gameweek 4 could end up punishing sellers. For some people like myself, downgrading him allows me to upgrade a midfielder to Salah. Next is Ollie Watkins, who has a minor injury, but also hasn't started the season amazingly. His first return of the season came last time out at Leicester with an assist. Despite good upcoming fixtures, his performances so far probably don't warrant holding given the injury doubts. Last is Bukayo Saka, who's actually 4 top point scoring midfielder with a goal and 3 assists so far. With the next 2 fixtures being tricky, if you wanted to move to another premium, now is a decent time. For some people like myself, he's the player making move for Salah, funded by another move. Thank you so much for watching, I really appreciate it. Give it a like if you enjoyed it. What are your captaincy and transfer plans for this game week, and has this video helped your decision making? Add your own thoughts and questions in the comments, and I'll answer every one. Never miss a pre-season video or game week preview by subscribing and turning on notifications. More FPL.